Good morning, YouTube. Today I'm going to be talking to you about my favorite films about VR. If you work in VR or you're a 360 filmmaker, I highly recommend you check out these 10 films. They're in no particular order except for the last one, which is my favorite movie about VR, AR. So let's start. Number 10, Lawnmower Man, starring Pierce Brosnan. If you have not seen this movie, you gotta check it out. It's made in the 90s. And Pierce Brosnan's like this scientist who invents like this virtual reality, and he gets the local lawnmower guy who's mentally challenged to play with it, and all of a sudden that guy gets like AI, robotic intelligence, and turns evil. Highly recommend the film. It's kind of a little cheesy looking back on it now, but really great movie. I actually had a friend, Alex Pierce, who recently collaborated with this filmmaker. They just did a music video, all shot in VR. So it's kind of cool how the director's continuing to work in that medium. Another great film, Avatar, James Cameron. You're set on this planet, Pandora, not the radio station. You basically, in this movie, get to see what it's like to be a blue person. Giant, tall blue person. If you haven't seen Avatar, you gotta see this movie. They're coming out with 3 others or 4 others. I don't even know. James Cameron's a genius. Okay, next movie on our list, Strange Days. Strangely enough, directed by James Cameron's ex-wife, Catherine Bigelow. This movie is pretty much like Avatar, but not set on a planet with aliens. Really good movie. I highly recommend you check it out. Lots of cool POV shots. Next up is The Matrix. This may be the classic dystopic VR film. Bunch of people plugged into computers, they don't know what the real life is like. It's crazy. If you've never seen The Matrix, I don't know what you're doing with your life. You need to check out this great film starring Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, Carrie-Anne Moss, and Joe Pantoliano. Next up is one of my personal favorites, Being John Malkovich, directed by Spike Jonze, starring John Cusack, Cameron Diaz, and of course, John Malkovich. Malkovich. That's all I gotta say about the movie. No, this movie is about puppets. This movie is basically about John Cusack as a puppeteer, and he starts working in this weird office, and he goes inside of a door, and then he is inside of John Malkovich's brain for like 2 minutes or something. And he can't control anything Malkovich is really doing, but he's experiencing the world as someone else for a moment. And then he's spit out onto the side of the Jersey Turnpike. Really crazy meta movie. Charlie Kaufman, one of his best films that he's written. Highly recommend you check out this movie. Next up is Tron. Tron stars Jeff Bridges. I don't know which one of the Trons I really like the best. Everyone's going to probably troll me and say the original. I kind of like the new one too, where you see like a young and an old Jeff Bridges. I highly recommend you see both Tron movies. They're both about VR. They're both about living in a virtual world, so to speak. Really good movies. Next up, Inception. Chris Nolan's take on what it would be like if you can go inside someone's dreams. I think this is a really trippy concept. It's a really unique concept on VR too. Stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Ellen Page, tons of other folks in there. It's blanking on me right now. Next up we have Total Recall. It wouldn't be a VR top film list if we didn't include at least one Philip K. Dick movie in there. So Total Recall is a great movie. And now we get to the number 1 movie about VR, The Congress, starring Robin Wright, Harvey Keitel, and John Hamm. This film came out recently at the Cannes Film Festival. It's by the director who did Waltz with Bashir, which is a really good animated documentary about war and PTSD. This film is all about what if Robin Wright, or an actress at her caliber, signs a contract with some VR studio to say they will give up exclusive rights to make them virtual, make a virtual actor of them, but they have to promise never to act again in their life. And what ends up happening is people start to be able to buy the avatars, and then whenever you're seeing them around, people are like Robin Wright, or they are like Buddha, or they're whoever they want to be, whoever they can purchase to be. But then meanwhile, real life has turned extremely dystopic, and people are starving, and like the real world is just like chaos. So it's sort of like The Matrix, but like without the action, with a little bit more of a Hollywood twist to it. It's really unique. Half of it's animated. Highly recommend this movie, The Congress. Check it out. Those were my top 10 lists on VR and AR. If you have a movie that I didn't include that you recommend I watch, please write me a comment below. And also subscribe if you like this video. Thanks so much for watching. Good cat.